For decades, humanity has scanned the skies, not just in search of distant planets or alien signals, but for anomalies, those rare and unsettling moments when the universe refuses to follow its own rules. And now, the James Webb Space Telescope may have uncovered exactly that. What began as a routine observation of the third confirmed interstellar visitor to our solar system, an object designated 3I, Atlas, has spiraled into something far stranger, darker, and infinitely more significant. Because out in the frigid void beyond Mars, Webb detected something it never should have seen. Not just reflected light. Artificial light. A glow that no comet or asteroid has ever produced, a signal that breaks the known physics of reflection and refraction. Astronomers and astrophysicists are left with a question that chills them to their core. What exactly is 3I, Atlas? The object was first spotted as a faint, distant speck drifting at the edge of the solar system, following a path that no native body could trace. Its speed and trajectory revealed its origin immediately. It was interstellar, born beyond the sun's gravity, flung from an unknown system, and now passing silently through our cosmic neighborhood. At first, it was treated as another curiosity, like Oumuamua and Borisov before it. But even in its earliest images, something was wrong. Its brightness was unusual, almost stage. It didn't match its size, shape, or composition. Instead of dimming and flaring as comets usually do, 3I, Atlas glowed with a steady, unnatural consistency, as if powered from within. Telescopes around the world turned toward it, and Webb, with its unmatched infrared vision, was tasked with unmasking the mystery. What it found only deepened it. Perched a million miles from Earth at the Lagrange point, the James Webb Telescope was designed to cut through the glare of stars and reveal what lies hidden in the shadows. But when it focused on 3I, Atlas, it didn't just clarify the anomaly, it amplified it. The telescope picked up a centralized thermal emission radiating outward, something no reflection of sunlight could explain. Normal comets shine because dust and ice scatter the sun's rays. This wasn't scattered. This was emitted. Heat rising from within. Even more disturbing, the radiation pulsed faintly, irregularly, almost rhythmically. A cycle. A beat. Random chance was ruled out. The suggestion of design began to creep into the data. Scientists at NASA and ESA scrambled for natural explanations. Radioactive decay, exotic isotopes, friction within the object's core. But none matched the evidence. The deeper Webb looked, the less sense it made. The only explanation that remained consistent was also the most unthinkable, that the object might be powered. As data poured in, 3I, Atlas's profile grew stranger still. Its trajectory wasn't purely ballistic. It shifted subtly, almost intelligently, making minor adjustments as though using gravity wells with intention. Its spin was unusually stable, refusing to tumble chaotically the way natural bodies often do. Even as it approached the sun, it showed no tail, no outgassing, no disintegration, almost as if it was shielded. Then came the most shocking measurement of all, the albedo of its surface. In some regions, it reflected light with near-perfect efficiency, similar to polished alloys. Rock, dust, and ice cannot achieve that. Metal can. Suddenly, whispers became louder. Probe. Beacon. Vessel. Artifact. The possibility that this was not natural but technological, engineered, designed, began circulating not just in conspiracy forums but inside encrypted scientific memos. But the most damning clue wasn't the heat or the metals. It was the light. Spectral analysis revealed that 3I, Atlas wasn't reflecting sunlight broadly across the spectrum like natural objects do. Instead, it emitted a narrow, focused band of wavelengths. The kind of emission associated with lasers, LEDs, or communication systems. Worse still, the light intensity seemed to adjust subtly with solar radiation, almost as if some onboard system was responding in real time. To observers, the flicker looked less like chaos and more like a coded signal. Signal analysis teams at MIT and Harvard picked apart the data. At first, it looked like noise. But when they stripped away randomness using Fourier transforms, a structured pulse emerged. Not binary, not human, but undeniably patterned. Something encoded. A transmission. But who was it for? Speculation spread quickly through the halls of science and defense. Some argued this was a benign relic, perhaps thousands of years old, wandering on autopilot. Others were far less optimistic. If it was transmitting, then something, somewhere, was listening. And if its light was not just communication but propulsion, using controlled emissions to alter its trajectory, then this was no derelict. It was active. A vessel in motion. A vessel with intent. Then came the flare. Without warning, its luminosity spiked by nearly 40% in less than 2 minutes. This wasn't sunlight or chemistry. It was a switch being flipped. Its thermal signature shifted, too, like a dormant system powering on. And at that very moment, orbital calculations revealed its path had changed. Not by chance. By choice. 3I, Atlas was no longer just passing through. It had changed course, toward the plane of Earth's orbit. Spectroscopy soon revealed more chilling secrets. Embedded within its dust were traces of rare alloys, engineered compounds, and absorption lines belonging to materials unknown to natural chemistry, substances resembling theoretical quantum materials we can only model in labs. Evidence that it was either ancient beyond measure, forged in environments beyond our reach, or freshly manufactured by an intelligence far beyond our own. Behind closed doors, governments and agencies escalated. Observatory data streams went encrypted. Public access to Webb's raw logs began disappearing. Journal articles retracted details. Independent observatories found themselves drowned in misinformation campaigns. The truth was no longer just a scientific debate. It was now classified. And yet, in secrecy, some dared to push further. The SETI Institute sent a directed message toward the object, a mathematical greeting, a cautious hello. At first, nothing. But 72 hours later, to the second, a narrow-band pulse returned. Not an echo, not noise. A processed signal. A deliberate acknowledgement. What followed was even stranger. Telescopes began experiencing glitches when targeting the object, sensors failing, pixels freezing, guidance systems misaligning. At first, dismissed as software faults. But the failures weren't random. They were synchronized, as though someone, or something, was choosing what we could and couldn't see. A chilling theory emerged. The object wasn't being observed. It was controlling the observation. We were seeing only what it allowed. And then came the silence. Within days, Webb's updates slowed. ESA issued vague recalibration statements. NASA stopped addressing the anomaly entirely. The world's largest eyes on the cosmos went quiet. And history has shown us what happens when discoveries are locked away. The truth is buried, and fear fills the void. Yet before the silence closed in completely, one final pattern was detected. When plotted against the orbits of planets, 3I, Atlas's path formed a spiral, mathematical, intentional, beautiful. Its maneuvers aligned with prime numbers, Fibonacci sequences, echoes of universal mathematics. It was less a trajectory than a message. Not words. Not sound. Behavior itself is communication. And in that spiral, we may have already decoded the first word. Whatever 3i, Atlas is, one thing is certain, it is not a rock. From the artificial light to the deliberate trajectory, from the alloys in its dust to the signal it returned, it carries the unmistakable fingerprints of intelligence. Maybe ancient, maybe alien, maybe something we were never meant to see. The James Webb Telescope, built to look back in time at the birth of galaxies, may have instead caught something looking back at us. And now, as the object drifts deeper into our solar system, one question hangs heavier than all others. Was this just a chance encounter with a wandering relic, or the first deliberate contact? Because if this was a probe, then somewhere in the dark, something knows we're here. And something may already be watching.